Rinpoche, thank you for agreeing to do this interview on your upcoming book, The Diligence chapter, The Joyful Endeavor of the Buddhist Path.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for editing this whole book.
Thank you so much. Your new book, called Diligence, The Joyful Endeavor of the Buddhist Path, which is based on Shantideva's Bodhisattva Charya Avatara, or The Way of the Bodhisattva. This chapter is on the paramita of diligence, or the perfection of diligence. And what's most interesting is that you translate diligence as joyful exertion. In fact, joy is a theme that runs throughout the book. And the last chapter of the book is called The Art of Joy. And Shantideva's last stanza ends with joy propelling everything we do. Could you take a moment and explain how the diligence chapter corresponds with joy?
Everyday life, outside of the spiritual practice also, we have our interests and we have our passion. And then also we have our goals. And all of those requires, in order to materialize something as a positive outcome for your life and also reap the fruit of them, we need to be diligent to apply ourselves in order to accomplish what we set to accomplish. And in there, what comes up the most for most of the common people is not that they don't have the interest. It's not that they don't have the passion. It's not that they don't have the kind of sense of how that interest and passion and goal could actually serve them if they can achieve them. But what comes up is also a sense of impediment to accomplish them. And that is a lot to do with one's own mental state and one's own kind of habits, and also one's own self-esteem. And then also how you organize your mind and your time. So having habits of procrastinating, for example, as in one, that is sort of physical and mental both. And then mentally also, when you go to do something that is sort of like more what you feel is going to be a great benefit for yourself or for the larger life of yours. There comes a little bit of also a sense of attachment to the outcome, but rather being able to see through in the means. When you have that, then you put on a pressure on yourself. You know, the attachment sort of turns into a pressure on oneself. And then with the pressure on oneself, then one begins to feel a lot of sense of insecurities as, oh, can I do this? Am I able to do this? Am I good enough to do this? I'm equipped to do this. And this kind of a lot of insecurities that is related to one's own self-esteem. And also it turns into a sort of habitually what sometimes people have a tendency to kind of disparage themselves more than encourage themselves. and also gets into a negative thinking about themselves, then the positively kind of boosting their own confidence. So, Diligence chapter in the Bodhisattva Avatar talks about, how to sort of work with those, procrastination and feeling kind of heavy and not getting started or move along. And also how to sort of not be distracted with the sort of things that, just as, for example, you are required and you are required to do something more sort of productive and seriously engage in applying yourself, you find small other pleasures. So for example, tidying up the house, and also, doing something that is mundane and that has not much of a great outcome, but rather you kind of like distract yourself doing those and then spend all of the time doing that and not really get to the more important thing. So we trick ourselves to not kind of do what we need to do, what is required of ourselves to do, by this kind of small distractions of doing something else that sort of is easy and that sort of kind of you find a comfort or convenience to engage. For example, as soon as the time is up for you to actually do your session or apply yourself to homework or apply yourself to kind of like get to the work you're doing, you almost kind of with that pressure to bounce off that pressure, you start to sort of scroll or watch TV or something like that, and then you kind of not get onto the cushion or do what you have to do. In other fields as well, that is important. And then that leaves you within a sort of like a regret or low self-esteem afterwards. And then this is sort of like a little bit of an, crocodile eating its own tail and feeding itself. And it sort of goes round and round in that way, and it sort of becomes a sort of big struggle. People are very capable of sharp, intelligent, very much able to reason. But then this kind of habits are also found in a very sharp, intelligent, reasonable people to not, apply themselves in the right way. So Diligence chapter talks about how to sort of be self-aware, and then how to also change from negative impediment states to positive, encouraging states and constructive states to apply yourself consistently. And then when you do get exhausted, for example, by over-applying, then how also it's good to take breaks, but not to take the breaks so that the break becomes your whole life and not get back to the application.
Oui.